Swami. Welcome to the Satsang. This is the first Satsang in 2024. We just had the Bandara. Ishvapuriji Maharaj Bandara in December. This was an incredible Bandara for me for many different reasons. And I noticed at the time that it was very special Bandara for many of you. It was very special Bandara for my wife. And she's used to be with me. She's used to the satsangs. We have basically satsang every day. In the morning, she will prepare some breakfast for me. And then we usually have a satsang. You can call it satsang. I call it satsang, although it's just two of us, or maybe three of us, or four of us. But here, it's just Grace and I, but we have a company, other company. So Grace was asking me for some time, because sometimes I refer to the manuals for PLM, right? I said that. Also, my master, Mr. Puri, he will say that too, you know, according to the manual for PLMs. Now, I do not make any claims as a PLM or anything like that. I'm just saying the manual, okay? So Grace was saying, Cezary, I want to read this. she was, for a long time, she was saying, I want to read this manual, right? This is over 100 years old, you know? When you put it this way, so yesterday I gave you the copy, right? So I made a copy for Grace. I gave the copy to Grace. But I said, Grace, don't, please, you have to promise you're not going to show this to anybody. Did you promise not to show?
No.
She says no. Oh, Grace, please. No. I thought you said yes. Okay, give me back. So when we have this satsangs, we speak from our own experience. You know, that is the way this master addressed this. So Ishvara Puri Sanmat, that is the way we're going. So I was going through that manual a little bit. I was going through a little bit because you know, this go years back, so it's not like, you know, I after the time with the master, you know, my input goes into different. But I was reading and I said, Grace, you know, this is such a huge subject, Shabbat yoga, because also includes 5 other yoga systems in it. The Sutra yoga being the highest, starting from Hatha yoga, prana, you know, pranam yoga, and so forth, because of this 5 veils, you know, five veils of the body, so to speak. And each of these different yogas addresses a specific region, okay? But to practice all of that, you will have been in the cave for years probably to go through all of that. So I said to Grace yesterday or today even, you know, I was thinking to explain this Sutra Yoga really what it is. Because there's so many secrets, there's so many so many levels is just overwhelming. And I said, Grace, this will take like 2-3 years every month for hours just to explain some of it, some of this. This is so huge. And I speak about these things for the last 3 years, but I noticed there's still many of you have still questions about this and that, and I can understand. So years back, I was thinking maybe have a workshop on this. So like a person to person, maybe not the Zoom. There's only so many things can be said through Zoom. And we basically touch upon the basics of the basics of the basics of the basics, okay, in that sense. Because this is really overwhelming, the knowledge. And I can understand why these masters, they do not speak about it. Because I said to Grace, knowledge like that can be abused too. The mind can be overwhelmed totally. So even when I go back to my master, I mean, he will speak about this and that, but that was just this and that. Not even my master spoke about some of these things. And I spoke to him personally about many things. And when I was in India with Grace, this was in that Hilton, in the Saket, Hilton Saket, the South Delhi, or I believe what that was. We stayed in a hotel when Master was staying for a couple of days when he was 2019 in India. We were his personal guests. But even at that time, I said something. I spoke to the Master, just Master and I. Grace was sitting across. There was just the 3 of us at the time. The other person was not there. You know who I'm referring to. That's what, doing something else. So I used that moment, just the Master and I, and Grace was just listening to ask him. But what he said to me and to us will affect millions of seekers. And but he did. He confirmed what I spoke to him at the time. He confirmed that. So that it itself is like, whoa. How do you go around walking around all of this? I had many moments like that with the Master. He will reveal things which are not revealable to anyone, basically. Powiedzieć im o tym formularze, czy nie? No. Grace is silent, Sometimes I ask her, well, can I even speak about this or that? I don't want to, because this is all the Grace is part of it, So I am aiming at that the satsangs we have. It's not just Cezary says this or Cezary say that or this or that or this and that, which most people don't even want to listen to for one reason or another, and I do know the reasons. But we also tapping into the real Surcha Yoga, okay? And the real Surcha Yoga is this is something most advanced path I found, even being with the Master, even we all speak about this 18 centers. Master and I, we did not stop there, okay? My Master, so he was the most advanced soul I ever met in this life, my master, Mr. Puri, Ishwar Puriji. He was most advanced spiritual giant. But to realize that you had to be with him, or maybe just you and him, and go and have that experience. His grace will allow you to these experiences. Now, no, we cannot even speak about that. I know I cannot speak about that at all, ever. I have to take that to my grave. And but many of the subjects I can share with grace. You can almost look at both of us as one soul, Grace and I. So I don't know who is more advanced, Grace or I, in this relation. Who can teach who about anything? So Grace is the only person I can really speak about many things because she was there too when Master spoke about this. But this is not very easy to share. This is not very easy to share. So we're trying, or at least I'm trying to share some of this. But I also, whatever experiences I'm speaking from, I'm trying to relate to the Shabbat yoga. I mean the real Shabbat yoga, the original Shabbat yoga. Not what people may say this and that, because there's many of us, many people like to speak about this path, and they have a lot of information about this and about that. But please understand the information, it is not necessarily true. Maybe only 2% is real true, and 98% is just it's not. But there's a tendency of oh, I know that's true, and people will be teaching others or say no, this and this or this and that. Please understand that in this satsangs, I have obligation. I have obligation to reveal some of what I learned from my master. And my obligation is also to go to the center of this teaching as much as I can share. And when I refer to that, even in the outside in this world, this information which is maybe available to a few. Okay. Not maybe, but it is. Great Master Hazur Baba Savan Sen, he's if you through history, he will say, how can I tell them the truth? I cannot. Even Great Master was saying that, okay? If I tell them the truth, no one will come to the satsangs to see me, in a sense, because why? What are we speaking about here? My master said there are very few truth seekers. That the truth seekers are very few. This is my master saying. Now, when I speak in Sucha Yoga or Path of Saint Mark, I'm referring to my master, and I'm referring to origins of this. And please understand that most of this is secret. Look at the way you like it, but most of this is secret. You think you know everything, or we think we know everything, and we don't. We just know the little part of it. So when I speak about this, I usually refer to this as when I speak about Santma, and as we practice, I usually refer to the 4 stages. You know, the first stage will be this physical body. This physical body. The second stage, when I refer to, which will be another body, and there's another stage, which is another body, and there's a final stage. This is the 4th stage, and this is the purely spiritual stage. And these masters, they refer to that stage as Alak, Agam, and Anami, or Radhaswami. And this is what you, if I can convey anything to you today or a year from now, or as long as I live, the true state is Alak, Agam, and Anami, Radhaswami, okay? This is where this Shabbat flows from, really. These are purely spiritual regions, so to speak, unnamed, unmanifest in that sense. Can't describe that. So this what we should be really aiming for. Now, I found on my path that this is not possible without education. And my master also speak about that. I think Ishwar on the website, there's even video too. Master speaks about that. It's like let's say you're in some region and there's like a void, okay? You can't cross it. Not even the light of the soul can cross that. So the master is necessary. And Sucha Yoga is based on the living master. When you have a perfect living master, okay, and the master dies, when he merges in totality, what does that mean, master? Because now you're dealing with PLM, okay? So now you're dealing with the totality, merging into totality. Is he still around? Well, this is the taboo subject. I tell you, this is most misunderstood and taboo subject, and for good reason too, because otherwise people will not be able to function. So you have a tricky situation now, because instructions of my master are, which are known to me, maybe too very, in that sense, I made sure I know this instruction, his instructions, my master instructions. But he wants us to go on with our lives. He does not want us to, build ashrams and build, like pictures, garlands, anything of that, pujas or whatever you call it. This is not what my master wants. What do you do? What will Cezary do if this is the case? Let's say for me, master passed away and there's no one around, right? There's no one around. You can go to India, you can go to US, to Canada. There's no successor of Mr. Puri in that sense, not in the organization. And then what do you do? I mean, do you look at your intuition, or where do you go? And for those who were initiated by the master, when the master was alive and you were initiated, there's this concept of radiant form of the master. And according to these masters, this is the form you should establish when master is alive. When your master is alive, this is the radiant form you establish within yourself. You connect to that. Now, what happened when you didn't do that when master passed away, like in this case? Well, if you were initiated by him, you can still do that, but it will be a lot more difficult for you. My master says it will be 3 times more difficult for you to do that after. So when my master was alive, you were initiated by him. You did not establish that after he passed away. According to him, this will be 3 times more difficult to do at the time. Is it still possible? He says yes. Now that all depends on the seeker. He's also understand these concepts of list A and list B and list C. How this can be even comprehended whenever everyone is initiated by the same master, like Mr. Puri. How someone can be on list A, what we call, and on list B or list C. And when is that determined, really? Who determines that and when? That would be the question. Some of you may know answer to that, some of you may not. So that would be another question. Okay, so this is maybe another question you want to ask. So the living master is important because if you had the questions and you didn't ask those questions at the time when you had the opportunity to see the master who initiated you, yeah, by the way, your master is always the one who initiated you. That is your master. But if the master passes away and there's no one else to ask, where do you go? Who do you ask? Do you ask the brothers and sisters? If you listen to all these different groups, what they're saying, everybody is saying something, to their own benefit. Ego takes over. This is another aspect what happened in the last 3 years. I'm very kind of cautious to speak even about that because that will really upset a lot of people. But nevertheless, it's happening. Okay, so now so when you look at this, your physical form, because master passed away and now you have this radiant form of the master. What is the radiant form? The radiant form is it's a dialogue. You meditate, you practice, you develop what is called internal dialogue within the mind. And this is a part of the Sochab Yoga to determine this or start or have this internal dialogue, okay? And this internal dialogue, we call it disciple and the master. We refer to this as a radiant form. The radiant form is a radiant form. That radiant form is still located within Brahman, or in other words, within the mind. So, when our master, he was referring to this as a clone, right? He was explaining this simply as a clone of the master, and the connection between the clone in each of us, and the master himself. And he will explain that there's some video, at least one or so. He will speak about that, how that works. Now, how that really works, that is very interesting how that really works. So when you look at yourself now, sitting in front of a computer or using an iPhone or whatever you're using, this form, this physical form of yours, you look at now, this form, this form is composed of 3 different bodies. Look at it like that, 3 different bodies. Okay? And Within three of those bodies, there are five envelopes, so to speak, within those bodies. Okay. So the first body you're looking at is the physical or pin body. And this body has 6 chakras. Now there's another one. We call this body Suksham Sharir. And this body corresponds to Brahman. These are the regions of mind, okay? And there are another 6 chakras. And we refer generally to 3 major chakras of that region. We call them Shahasdan Kamal, Trikuti or Trikuti, Trinity and Unity and all these things. And so, and Shunya or Shun, this void, okay? So that is another body you compose of. There's another one, the third body, which we call Karan Sharir or causal body. And within that body, there's also 6 chakras. And 3 major chakras in that body is Mahashun or Mahashunya. There's another center we refer to as Vanvargufa. And there's another center we refer as a Satlok or Sachkhand. So within these 3 bodies, there's a correspondence of 5 different yoga systems, okay? And each of yoga system of the system will take days to explain. But your final body, Karan Sharir, composed also this, we call this Par-Brahman. So if you look at the human form, as you see now, this is reflected as a Trinity. I'm not referring here to Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. I'm referring to here to Trinity as a Holy Ghost, Father, and the Son, so to speak. So Par-Brahman, Brahman, and the Pind. These 3 different bodies. So if you look at the Suksham Sharir, when you tap into the first wheel or chakra or ganglion on nerve center, however you want to call it, Shahasdan Kamal, that is in the body. When you tap into Trikuti or Trikuti, all this mind, where the God resides, the God is, where everyone, that is the region of God, we call, in our teachings, we call this Kalna Ranjan. And we refer to that as a negative power. But most people confuse that negative power, that is this is someone who has all the evil on his mind, to mess with everybody. No, this is the real God. The one who created all this within Suksham Sharir. And as the macrocosm goes, so is the microcosm. As your body goes, so is the body of God. Okay? That's why we have this concept of the drop in the ocean. So there's another region, okay? There's another region which is called purely spiritual region. Radha Swami Dan will be the highest point represented within this body. So these centers are located in those bodies, okay? I'm trying to explain some of that because I noticed there's still confusion in many of these aspects. So when I explain this, I'm referring to Shabbat yoga. So when you practice some of these different yoga systems, you may be only accessing the region within the Shukshma Sharir, okay? And that could be Astral region, and that could be the mental region as represented in Trikudi. And then we deal with the universal mind and the copies of all of the rest, okay? So you do not want to be bound to that concept under those regions. So when I always encourage from the day one, everybody usually is seek the highest. But to reach the highest, now you have to cross Shun, Mahashun, okay? And you have to reach the region of Vanvarguva. They call this revolving cave or so, you know, but this is the spiritual region with the mother in nebulous state. So the real show really, as we explain, flows from Satsang down, okay? All the way down to this physical form you can actually see now. So do you want to go to the Astral heaven? Some wants to go to the Astral heaven, to the Astral Satsang. So what do I do? Masters say we always have a good and bad karma. I mean, that's why we're here, that's why we're reborn. So if this karmic pattern still existed in you, even when you die, within Shukshma Sharir, within that body, the second body I presented to you. Excuse me. So how do you deal with that? This is like hopeless. So can you do it without the master? I say, I always have to tell you, no. You will be drawn back to the next life. And I call this, a year ago or something, I called this the song of the sirens, right? I call personally because I'm trying to come up with these metaphors. You know, I have this metaphor, song of the sirens. This is the story of Odyssey, you know, the Greek Homer, who wrote those? Odyssey, you know, Odysseus, I don't know if I pronounce in Polish, he goes on this boat on the sea, and Penelope, he's a queen, she's back in Greece, and he's in this island of the sirens. And the song is so beautiful that anyone whose boat, you know, they swim by this island, they hear the song, they totally drawn and consumed by it. They go back and they are, you know, the sirens, they really don't know what the sirens can do to them, but they will kind of present as a beautiful sirens, you know, and futures and all of that. And they will, this is, so the Odysseus, he tied himself to the pole, you know, when the sailors, he asked them to tie his hands back around with the ropes, you know, so he cannot move. And he said, unplug my ears. And everybody else in the boat, you know, the ears are plugged in, because if they cannot hear, because they won't be able to make it. They will all go swim there, or the boat. So he listened to that song of the sirens, but they able to take this boat past this island and swim into the sea, our Mediterranean Sea, so to speak. So this is it's easy to say, oh, I can do it, you know, but Really? You think this is the first time you said you can do it? We can do it. So this is this whole game of recirculation going on, and we call that reincarnation. So within this three bodies I just described to you, I'm trying to be simple as I can, and they're like doors. So to Shahaz Dan Kamal, there's a door. Okay, we call this door. We call this 10 door. Now from within the region of Brahman, there's another door to Par Brahman. And within the region of Par Brahman, there's another door. Let's say, how do I explain this? From the top of Vanvar Gufa to Sachkhand, okay? We call that 12 door. So as we teach, you know, this when we meditate, we pierce into that 10 door. And this is very interesting, you know, because now you're dealing with the sun and moon and the energies of sun and moon and so forth, you know, which compose the physical body, you know, and things like that. So you pierce into that, and I found this very interesting because they have these movies about Stargate, okay? And they have, if you look into physics and mathematics, they have these concepts of neutron cloud, you know, the basic proton and electron. And this is the basic, you know, the other particles within that, you know, quarks and endless. But if you look just proton and neutron, there's an electron. So this called this neutron cloud, and from that they're referring to, you know, the string theory, you know, there's 10 different levels, and the 11th will be, you know, they call this, you know, I don't want to say it, but that is, you know, how the time you travel, you know. So this is very interesting. Why? Because the real Stargate is inside your head. Okay? That is the real Stargate. It's not some kind of mechanical thing outside somewhere. So if you look at this 10 door, this will be your own personal Stargate, right, inside of your head. So we call this a 10th door, okay? So we're piercing through that to Brahman, to these different regions of Brahman. And then we're piercing to the regions of Par Brahman. But the 11th gate, you know, you know, if you go to the writing of Kabir, you know, he referred to that as, you know, this is blocked, you know, like this whole, there's a head of the Kalnaranjan blocking. So there's no way you can cross that. It's sealed. Now, this is according to Kabir. He's, you know, I mean, I spoke about this 2 years ago or something. I'm trying to kind of give you all over the version of what we've been talking for the last 3 years or so. So this is the sealed by the face of Kalnaranja. It's a metaphor, okay? So now we're in the process of stepping our foot on the head of Kalnaranjan, okay? So now you're speaking about the concept that the real master is pulling you from beyond that, so to speak. So So this region of these three words we call, below that we call the egg of Brahman. And the rule of Brahman, excuse me. Now this is not the Brahma which corresponds to one of the chakras here in our region, or the elements of water, fire, or these different chakras. We do not practice Kundalini yoga, anything like that. That is the part of the physical pin body and the breath and so forth. Ironically, recently, within last week or so, I was checking in those different yoga systems. Okay, the four other ones, not the Socha yoga, in a sense. And there's this they call this cosmic briefing, you know. And so it takes like half a minute, half an hour to even listen to how to do it. Cosmic Cobra meditation, it's called, some call it Cobra meditation, you know. It has to do with pranayama, breathing in, holding the breath, breathing out, and it's contraction of specific muscles. That will be, by the way, different for women and different for men, you know, from Mulada, you know. And I'm just like listening, and I mean, this is getting really, really not easy. So if you study all these different yoga systems and asanas, you know, this is mind-boggling. But in this Santmat and Socha yoga, we don't do that. We start with the specific point here. So we're bypassing all the energy centers, okay? All these different channels, you know, Ida, Pingala, you know, the left and right channel in the back, and the center one. We do not do that because now we're dealing with this currents down and up, you know. We're dealing with different aspects and aspects of mind. This will tie you down to this body, okay? In a sense, this is not kind of nirvana we seek. We're practicing, let's say, pranayama, prana yoga, or something like that. This has to do with some different aspects. The Socha yoga is the highest form. This other yoga system cannot reach. They cannot reach, you know, two yoga systems here, to another one here, but they cannot reach to the highest point, what we're aiming. And that point is Satlok or Sachkhand, okay? And from that point, we actually aim into the highest point. That will be, we like to call that Radha Swami. Or we like to personify this as a Purush, so we will call this Anami Purush, Radha Swami Dan, and so on. But this also has to do with the sound current, and different sound currents are within these different regions or envelopes, like these 5 different envelopes. So we're actually dealing with 5 major sounds, you know, you can experience inside. They compare to these different instruments. And so this is how we're looking at this, okay? So when I explain these things to you, I'm tapping into that. I mean, I may say, you know, there are 5 different regions, you know, but I'm trying to explain this in more deeply, okay? I'm trying to explain to you that the man or woman, who you are, is a reflection of Trinity, okay? And within that Trinity are 5 of these different regions. Normally, you say, which will be, you know, from the top will be what, Satlok, then you're going down to Vanvar Gufa, then you will go to Dasvandvar, then you will go to Trikuti, and then you will go to astral. Now, I'm not trying to mess up everything, what you may believe or may not believe. I'm trying to present this from more from the other aspect. I'm going to more to origins of this. And the origins, these masters now don't even speak about, okay, may not even speak about. But we try to refer to my master, to a great master, to some Jamal Sen, and to Rali Saligram, to Swamiji of Agra, and I can give you many other names, okay? So please understand that we think we know everything, and we have a lot of information. We have a lot more information than someone living 100 years ago. But that doesn't mean that we know more or better than that person. We may call that person master. You or I may have a tons of information or knowledge about many different things, but just to have information and the true knowledge, that's two different things. Most of us are totally overcrowded. Our minds are totally overcrowded with samskaras. And it's almost like we have a lot of garbage, carrying with us inside our head in that sense. And we get this impression, I know better than someone 100 years ago, or over 100 years ago, or some spiritual. And we're trying to come up with our own conclusions and our own systems. Are there other system of meditations? There are, yes. I know they are. There's one exercise which is, not even mentioned, and that comes from Sufis, for example. So there are different approaches to, but as we practice, and this, we practice this as prescribed by the great master, Hazur Baba Salansen. I know many people would like to discard what great master says, or what my master said, and what is my master Moj. And I know this is the trend going on right now within what was left as a Sangha of these different groups after my master passed away. My duty to you is to go what is my master Hukam. Kazim gave me the question. And this question actually refers to the seva we do. This is exact seva Ishra Puri Sanman does as the seva from the master, my master. So now, what is the real seva? It's the real seva is what we do in that sense, you may say. Now, everyone does the seva here and there, so that is okay. Each of us have, everybody, Grace said, everyone is left where they're supposed to be. And I have to agree with Grace. This is our master was genius, spiritual giant. He exactly left everyone where they belong. So to wrap this up, what time is it? This question I have, if master is, if this, okay, my understanding this is, I read some, that if the master is specifically somewhere, and there are other people somewhere around the world, why some of these people, let's take this hypothetical question, okay, as a hypothetical. Let's say there's a master somewhere. So why people somewhere else in the world they cannot reach that master for one reason or another? Very, very good question. Why? If you study this path, you will find out that I have to be very, very careful how to address this question. My master said let's say there's a PLM theoretical question. He has his list, okay, as explained by my master. The PLM has his list, and on this list, he has the names of those to be initiated. But this list does not include everybody in the world. This is a very specific list. If your name is not on it, okay, what then? Let's say my name is not on that list. Can I do something about that? What would you say, Grace? Can someone do anything about that? Grace says yes. She's not in her head. Grace says yes. Hmm? Yeah. According to, I don't know, I mean, what can I say, I mean, but Grace says yes. Now, my master says, that only 10% out of the whole population. He will say, this is on the record, he will say something like only 10% are destined to go back, right? Those are the words of my master. Now, I spoke to Grace about very recently, and we said that the true seekers are very rare. And Grace said, that so we came up with this, I said to Grace, you're correct. Only 10% of that percent are actually true seekers. I mean, if you look around what's happening today in this world and the seeking, maybe we this Kali Yuga progressing, maybe we're at the point that only 10% of the 10% our master was speaking about is actually ready. So the seeking is the key. Now, please understand that each master will attract very specific souls. So you may have a guru, or you may have a swami, or you may have a master. Only specific souls will be attracted to that person, okay? So the list on his list, on his list, he will go through the list, I'm trying to give you a metaphor. And if your name is not on the list, you're not on the list. So now, is this list written in stone? Is the master given this list when he is a baby born? Or is this a living list? So you may be on the list, but someone else may be on the list, but a year from now. Someone else may be on the list, but 5 years from now. So now there's another aspect to that, is that what type of list you are on and what type of initiation the specific person gives you. If this is just the Aso initiation, there's going to be more people. Or Trikudi. If this is the true Sachkhand, there would be less souls, so to speak, on that list. So each master, if you want to call them the masters, they will have their own list.